When I look back at the biggest changes in my life, they didn't start with proof. They started with belief. Long before I had evidence, I had an inner conviction that I could figure things out. Ultra running is a perfect example of this. I didn't earn confidence first and then sign up to long races. I signed up because I believed there was a version of me capable of doing it, even if I hadn't met him yet. The evidence came later. Each long run or uncomfortable training block or race finish didn't create belief from nothing. It reinforced a belief that already existed within me. At the start, confidence was a choice. Over time, it became embodied. We got a little bit of a different episode for you today. Dean is a very close friend of mine, and he's been there with me from the start, from when I started That's Runnable, and he's tracked and supported me throughout the entire process. He is someone who also coaches others online, but in a different way. He has a blueprint for the very business that he built, and he helps other people build that very business themselves. And so he knows a little bit about online business. And so we talk a bit about that. We talk about making money online and this new world we live in. And basically, it's just a bit of a chat between me and a friend. But you'll probably feel like it's a different style of episode. And I hope you enjoy it. It's just a conversation. We threw up a camera and put some mics on after a mobility session and a bit of meditation, and we got to chatting. And there was no plan for it, but we did start talking about self-belief. And I have to say, the one thing that I notice in so many people that I work with, so many of my clients, but so many others out there, is this lack of confidence, a lack of self-belief. And so if there's anything that I hope that you take from today's episode, my chat with Dean, it is that you leave it back in yourself. That you leave it feeling like, why not me? So without further preamble, here's my conversation from the roof of an Airbnb in Dahab, Egypt, with Dean. I hope you enjoy it.
What month and what year was it that you started That's Runnable officially? Was it 2024?
2024, October.
It's October,
Yeah. I mean, That's Runnable, the name for that came before it was for the podcast. I was trying to come up with a name for my coaching.
Yeah.
Rather than like Tommy Lewis coaching, whatever, because I want it to become bigger than that. So trying to come up with a name. Runnable, the domain was already taken. Runnable.com was taken by some like fucking tech company that's exited. It's like it's literally just a website, from some, I can't even remember what they do, but it's a tech company that was, that sold their business, and it's a small startup team, just like all in purple shirts. Just like, we did the thing, we made money. And they still got the domain. Maybe one day I'll try and get it, but yeah.
Had you been saying Run the Runnable at that point? Which came first?
Run the Runnable came first.
Where do you think that came from? What was that?
Run the Runnable.
Oh, it was when you were talking about ultras, wasn't it?
Yeah, like it's just like a normal.
Yeah, it's like
phrase.
Describing how to approach a race, almost, and life.
Well, yeah, it became more metaphorical.
Yeah.
Like literally, it is. You'll hear it in people will just say when they're running ultras, they'll be like, I was just up in the top segments, I was just running the runnable, or they'll say like, a lot of runnable sections around that, and for me, Run the Runnable was a phrase that I gave myself at Transgran Canaria, and I made a promise to myself for that race that I would, wherever it was runnable, I
Yeah.
would run. And it was, and if I felt exhausted,
Yeah.
I would just do it anyway. And that for me was like supposed to be a way to, because the difference between me hiking and me breaking into a jog, a shuffle, is not heaps.
Yes.
But it's actually a lot faster. It's probably 1.5 to 2 times faster than a hike, really. So yeah, I did really well in that race. I was like happy with how I did in that race because I just ran the runnable.
Is that must be like the biggest motivation ever, to be like 12 hours deep into a race, find a runnable patch, and then know you've made that promise to yourself?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you're like, oh, fuck, I've got to do it.
Yeah.
Because you can't, man. You can't, like, surely, if anything, an ultra, I can imagine, as a bystander, is like one of those things where you have to trust yourself. And back yourself.
Yeah. And it's not always, I think, the kind of tip to run the runnable, a lot of people have messaged me and said that they have used it and it's worked really well. But I don't imagine it would work great for everyone. It worked for me at my level and the mountain races I was doing and I'm doing. It works for me at my level. But not everyone's going to be able to run as much as me. And also, there are a lot of people who, well, maybe it would work for people. I guess it does work because it's just whatever is runnable for you. You know, you decide what you call runnable and you run that. For me, in my head, it was all the flats and all the downhills and anything not technical enough to run.
Runnable is subjective.
That's the whole point of it.
To the individual, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it became metaphorical. I sort of, understandably, from me, I made it more deep than it needed to be, and turned it into like this thing. And then I remember putting out a story when I was coming out of work, and at Liverpool Street Station, and I was like, I'm going to make a story about this because I got some messages about it. Whatever. I was like, I think we're onto something. What does it mean to you? And then got a bunch of responses in the story. People saying like, oh yeah, it means like do the doable.
Yeah.
It means like find what you can do and do that. It means like it's about integrity and keeping a promise to yourself.
Yes.
And that's all without, for most people, that's all without people knowing the story of, you know, that it was a promise to myself, for a race.
A lot of like sentiment around that.
Yeah. And then Run the Runnable isn't really a business name. It's sort of a catchphrase, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like
so I wanted to use Runnable because I thought that was like, Yeah, it's
caught on, man.
What, the Run the Runnable
Well, like,
thing?
I mean, anyone who follows you, they put you hand in hand with that brand. Like, it's I don't think of it as like Tommy's side quest anymore. It's like this little living, breathing thing you have now.
Yeah, I mean, I want it to be. I think I would say that that's because you're so close to me. That
maybe.
You just know.
True.
You're very like, you hear about That's Runnable and the branding a lot. But it is actually quite difficult to get people to shift over to, like, to get people who have sort of followed you for your content to shift them over to, hey, check out like this, you know, brand I'm trying to build over here. Whatever someone releases. So I've seen so many people with big followings release a product or a community or a project or something. Yeah, and it's really hard to get those people over to like support that because why would they really? But
well, they came for you. They followed you for like your content, and then I as a follower of you is like I'm not as interested in your brand. I kind of just like hearing what you've got to say, unless you're also on the brand spitting fire over there. I'm not as keen. You know, but
the media stuff I find easier, like the podcast and putting more content out on that page, like the information and media and stuff that people are consuming that's free. I actually find that, you know, easy to get attention onto, obviously. Whereas Yeah, I guess like the coaching and soon to be events is harder to maybe get as many eyeballs on that.
Well, it's also like, what is the page for? What will I get as the follower of going to That's Runnable versus what I'm going to get from following Tommy? Like, would you say, is there a distinction between what you aim to offer on both, or is it mainly just different ways of repackaging the same kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think like, I don't think I'm necessary for my message to be provided, basically. I think like my messaging is in agreement to a lot of people out there. And as long as I can get the value pillars of what I believe down, whether it's about like longevity, enjoyment for the sport, not taking it too seriously, love for the outdoors, all those things, I think that information can be all provided without my face and without me, right?
Okay.
So it's essentially an extension of my own ethos.
Question on that. Why, what's the advantage or what's the significance of it being without your face?
It can grow and have more people representing it.
Right.
Like
okay.
it can
So
have a
more-
team of
okay,
team of people that are all putting out
So it's about
content or
reach.
providing information.
You can think you can do bigger with the brand.
Yeah, I think you can scale more, you can do more. I'm also more recently, I'm more okay with me being the face of a brand. I think that's the way of the world now in many places. And I think the differentiator in many ways for many businesses will be the people of those businesses.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So,
Because like I've not actually asked you about that, where I'm thinking like, what is the vision for That's Runnable? Because when you think about bringing other people in to represent it, it's a collab opportunity, right? So you're just trying to get more reach, I guess, ultimately. Do you feel like that's what you can do with it?
oh, it could be a collab.
Long-term, or-
Yeah, it could be collab, or it's more about just providing like high quality information. So like, if we bring on a physio who is, a high caliber physio with a lot of experience in that space, that individual might make physio specific content and use the platform of That's Runnable.
Right. Okay.
And
yeah.
it's not that they would necessarily have reach, but those who are paying for the services that That's Runnable is providing.
Okay, so this is
the
more like
coaching.
a service you're providing rather than
Yeah.
content you're releasing on That's Runnable.
Yeah, so I'll be all over the content.
Right. Okay. Okay. This makes
And-
way more sense.
and there's
so
a lot
this
of-
is more about like
Yeah.
mass providing the information and
And it could become a place where, if you think about all forms of content, whether you've got audio, visual, video,
yeah.
or written, the written content at the moment that's coming out of That's Runnable is all from me in my newsletter. And even maybe we're going to be using some of my Substacks to make some posts. But all the text on the Instagram page, that's all from one source of like, that's like a sort of blog basically, which is the newsletter. I would love to have writers come in. I would love to have a website that had like, the equivalent of like extra blog posts or op-eds or like whatever, or just nice pieces on trail running or on the mountains or just something that aligns with the values of That's Runnable, and have those articles released. This is long way down the road, but you have writers that come in, you have content creators that come in, but also you have just experts who may be okay behind a camera, but really are providing good information for hub customers or whatever.
It's interesting to see that approach, right? So like a creator who gets a brand versus, for example, the first person I thought of there is who does it just with his name only, without the brand, is remember we talked about him before. His name's Tom Noska.
Oh yeah, man.
I think that's how you pronounce his name. I was looking
Yeah.
at his podcast the other day. His is like business advice for people who have creator entrepreneurs. So like, you and I, we have content, we have like coaching or a service on the back of it. He does it where he has just his name as the podcast and just his name as like, or he has a name for the coaching actually, but it's not like this separate entity. Like it's all just his name. And I don't know. I wonder which is like the way, or I think it's just pros and cons, really.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would say that the clearest and cleanest way to just get people in to buy your like course or buy your online service or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a question of whether they're buying into you or not. And if they're buying into
Yes,
you, then
yes.
using your name is really easy and powerful.
Yeah.
Arguably, if I'm really thinking big and I'm trying to, you know, in the next decade, make a business in the running space that is recognized, not for me as the founder. Yeah, you'd have like a very founder-led brand, probably. But if I want That's Runnable to become anything bigger,
The coaching.
all of it.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
coaching, the events, the podcast, the whole brand.
Okay.
The online written content, or you know, whatever it's providing. If I want that to be bigger than me, then I think it has to have a name that's big, that's more than Tommy Lewis.
The
you
Tommy
know?
Lewis Show.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Tommy Lewis Show. I'd still listen.
I think there's loads of stuff. Yeah, well, you
I get
you
involved.
would. Yeah. I think there's loads of stuff online, like with the online coaching world. There's so much of it that's tried and tested, and there's so many people who do it a certain way, and then will say that this is the best way to do it. But in reality, it's still business, and many people do it many different ways, and that, you know, one could argue that one way of doing it could have more longevity, another way of doing it could, you know, make more money quickly.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, your way is like, we talk about this a lot, obviously, but like your way is like almost like unconventional. As in, you've just like you've kind of just freeballed it yourself. You came in like most people I know with a business similar to this is like some program. They've done a mentorship. They've done whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I've bought a lot myself, like, but you've just fucking freeballed it, man. Which is cool. Which is like, it's super impressive. Like, you've just actually pieced it together.
Yeah, and you know, many business gurus would argue I've left a lot of money on the table. I know that I have, but
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I've always wanted to make something that lasts. I think that's the thing I'm scared of. Is like short-term gains at the cost of, at the price of
Yeah, literally.
long-term survival or integrity.
My mentor, Saul, really good guy, he says, sales pay for dinner and results pay for retirement. So like not going in for like the cash grab and just trying to like scale like crazy. It's like, you know, bring people in, take care of them, make them win, right? Anyone who's with you in your ecosystem or like your coaching or your content, even whatever, like just make them win. And you're definitely doing that more than a lot of people with a service to provide online.
Oh yeah, I had a question for you.
Oh yeah, go on.
Yeah, given we're sat here like two podcast bros, we got
Talking
like
about
two Bali
businesses.
bros doing a podcast.
Of a business.
Why are you a parasite?
Apparently, I think it was like Tom_17984B commented underneath my post and said, he's like, you are a parasite and I hope to God you get leukemia. Whoa. I was like, what? He literally typed that out on his phone. Those words and said enter. Let me stick that on that post. It's interesting, man. I used to be like...
What caused that?
I used to be so like apprehensive of a comment like that, and then I started to get a few, and I was like, actually don't
That's
care.
that is unreal. I actually have said to people before that the meanest ones, or the most crazy ones, don't even touch the surface. They're so funny. They're just like, they're so unbelievable that you're just like, well, this has made like 5-10 minutes of good WhatsApp entertainment for me because you screenshot it and send it to your mates.
Like, how can I take that seriously? You've seen me for 25 seconds and you wished a slow and painful death upon me. I can't take your opinion seriously. You're not welcome at the table with that kind of stuff.
It's so crazy, man. And I said to you before that, like when I'm here with you, like working in a flat or whatever, and I listen to your calls, and I listen to the people you're working with, like these are current or ex, like working professionals who are very good behind the laptop with the calendar, organizational skills are like on point. The people that you're servicing are like already operators at a certain level. I think a lot of them. It seems like, anyway. So they're not like idiots. They're in sales, or they're in like, you know. And they are just they're tapping away and building these things month on month.
Man.
So when I see that, I know obviously everything that's going on behind the scenes, and what you're putting into it. And so when people call you a parasite online,
oh my God,
I'm like, I don't know. It makes me curious about why it is that people are looking at your stuff.
Well, you know why? It's because I have something to sell them, right? That's what my content is sort of designed to do, is to help you see that, hey, there's an opportunity here. You can tap into this if you want. There's very low barrier to entry. I'm just sharing that with you right now. There's plenty of time between now and when you like come and like quote unquote buy from me or like get that far. This is just a piece of content. But people immediately associate that with just like a ruthless course selling engine that is designed to just like leave dead bodies behind in its wake and is the cause of all great suffering in the middle class of our world. People who buy courses, right? And that's it, you know. I see, and I don't come across too bad either. I actually get, it's quite a nice bit of feedback I've gotten from clients that when I ask them like, oh, why did you join? They're just like, you came across very genuine. So I was like, all right, that's good. At least it's like, it's landing with the right people.
Yeah.
Because some people, man, that I follow, I've had a look at some of their comments. And I'm talking like,
Right, in the same space.
oh dude, in the Airbnb space.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's people who are like my competitors. I've gone on some of their posts and I'm like, you can't, like I'm genuinely talking like 150 comments of just people being like, scumbag, like you absolute rodent, like fucking going in on these people, man. And I know these guys, I know the guys who are doing it, and I'm like, it's completely right, because you're coming across like,
right,
you come across super scammy and just untrustworthy.
Yes, right.
And I think it's just the default of the pessimistic person who's not doing very much to then make a remark on someone who's just effectively advertising their business, right? You know, who knew that advertising your business was terrible? But it's the way it comes across. It's the speak around how the internet is littered with course sellers who have no backbone and who just want to take money.
Yeah, it's there's some truth in the skepticism.
Sure. Yeah.
About people, because there are obviously scammers online.
Sure.
There are people who actually, there are a lot of people who make a huge amount of money selling things that don't work. You know,
Let's define.
That's always been the case.
Here, you know?
Well, just they're selling something that doesn't work.
Right. Okay.
Selling something that's like just not worth the money. You know, hoodwinking people into spending more than they agreed to initially, there's loads of things. There's loads of
Right,
trickery.
right,
There's loads
yes,
of trickery
yes.
that happens online.
Yes, and
Which
it
is
falls
like-
onto like unsuspecting people.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
You know, you've been almost victim of some of the sort of slightly more scammy side of the spectrum when it comes to, hey, you buy this course, but by the way, to complete it, once you're done with it, you really are
Yes.
going to need this other
Yes,
course. And then you really
yes.
are going to need level 3. Because you can't
Yes.
really get to what you are actually needing
Yes.
on level 2. So
Yes.
you will have to pay.
Okay, and then like this, what you're saying here actually isn't an issue either, by the way, but it's like having, okay, the next level of support or the next, okay, once you have X many clients or whatever, then we add you to this like personalized group or whatever. Like that makes sense, right? But I think the issue is when people don't communicate that up front. Like they make it seem like level 1 is everything.
Yeah.
And
That's
then-
it. That's what's scammy about it.
That's
is-
the
yeah,
issue.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
how everything's
100%.
represented.
Scammy is like, it's lies.
Yes.
It's lies,
'Cause
basically.
most people have a probably decent enough coaching service. Like everyone knows how to put some Loom videos together. Like at its core, it's not that difficult to do, but it's the expectations of the person going into it,
Yeah.
who has now spent like upwards of what, like 5, 6, 7, 8, like sometimes over 10K,
Well, yeah, I mean,
having never done this before, already obviously like very, very scared. Take it from me, man. I spent like 15K. I was like,
I know.
oh my God, I need to make this work now.
yeah.
Which is interesting because it's kind of like it's the thing that anchors you, oddly enough, the thing that causes you the most stress, but the thing that keeps you in it.
I guess the thing, the thing that is most reassuring about a lot of online coaches, once it gets to like high ticket one-to-one stuff,
Yeah.
they start charging an extortionate amount, but they're also using their time, like they're with that person. So as soon as you're paying one-to-one sort of prices for completely infinitely scalable products, then you're in the realm, in my opinion, then you're in the realm of wasting your money. Because what are we talking about? Like, if you're spending like 10,000 on a booklet, but just because it's from Hormozy, like you're wasting your money, mate. Go and just do stuff and figure it out and figure out your own life. 10 grand? Do you know how many malaria nets could be bought with 10 grand? It's such a waste of money. If you're not in proximity with that person.
Right, okay, fair enough. I hear you. Like information alone, you know, I get that for sure. I think like a level of support is needed to demand or command such a price. I think what also tends to occur is like when you pay more for something, you just immediately value it a hell of a lot more as well.
Yeah, exactly. But that's part of it, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, the course I bought back in the day was a bit wishy-washy.
really.
Yeah, it was just like it's kind of like one of those trading ones where like trading, you know, in and of itself does work, but it also carries a lot of risk. You lose money if you get it wrong, on top of the course you bought, right? So you bought a course on how to effectively absorb large amounts of risk after the course. That's the thing, right? And so naturally you get that wrong, you're not a seasoned investor, it can get a bit hairy.
Yeah, it's crazy the sort of different attitudes. Like I would never spend like serious money on a course that didn't give me like a legitimate qualification.
The way I'm looking at them now is, I'm like, is there a gap in my business that I'm like, that's costing me time or like a blind spot or something that's going to help me improve this thing that is either slow or time consuming or not efficient or whatever. Then I can very quickly reconcile that, like, okay, if I spend 5K or whatever with this person and I get a little bit of support, they're going to help me with this thing, I can easily just be like, all right, well, I'll make that back.
Yeah.
But that, like,
But it is more of an investor mindset.
I was not thinking like this 3
Right.
years ago, like
Yeah,
at
yeah,
all.
yeah,
When you're in a job, you don't have ways to manipulate your monthly take home. Unless you're in sales, you can close more deals, fine. But like, you can't increase it by like learning something new about content or increasing, you know, top of funnel ads or what, you know what I mean? Like, you're just stuck with that. And so naturally we don't think in that way. But then like once I've gotten out of that, I just start to view that stuff as an investment rather than like, oh
Yeah.
shit, am I going to lose this? It's like, no, it's on me to get it back now.
I get that.
You're effectively just saying like, right, do I reckon with this thing I can make that back? If so, yeah, let's fucking crack on.
I think it's easy to understand when it's investment in something that's going to make you money. You know, if that's what's being sold, like spend this money and you'll be able to build this, which will get you.
Yes.
You know, we always did that
Yes.
at work. You know, it's all about
Yes.
ROI.
Yes.
It's all about, you know, we'd try and manipulate. Do you remember doing those calculators? Do you remember doing those calculators? You know, someone would make some calculator on an Excel spreadsheet, and like you would, and it would be like customer facing.
Yeah.
Like a customer facing
Yeah.
Excel spreadsheet or sheets, whatever. And you just need to plug in a few
Yeah.
numbers. And what you do is you plug in the number of hours that the average engineer works, how much they're paid per hour. And then you'd like say, okay, well, this is gonna save you X number of hours. So that means it's gonna save you for the 15 engineers you have. It's gonna save you 0.8 of a mil per week or some shit, you know.
But all you have to pay.
Yeah, man.
Oh God.
The reason I laugh at that, by the way, is because the whole idea, and I do believe that software can speed things up. I do believe that. But I have worked for many software companies and many businesses that have a lot of software that they're using internally.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, although you might think it's speeding everything up, the amount of software we're using, the amount of added stuff we're tracking, the amount of like, you know, stuff that's not moving the needle that we're doing online. I mean, it's unbelievable like how so much slower people are.
Yeah.
Adoption is crazy slow. It might slow people down. There's no guarantee of speeding you up. Yeah, I don't know. So
Part of me almost, I know this sounds cooked, but I would almost like to go back and do 3 months do a quarter in tech sales with the like mind I have got now.
really,
Just this, yeah, man. I feel like I'd be coming at it from such a good angle.
yeah, I think you probably would.
I think we do. I don't know. I think it'd be fun.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't have calls. I couldn't have calls.
Just to
with
remind
people.
ourselves how much we hated it. It's like a yearly reminder.
I couldn't have calls with people and like try and convince them and sell and like you know, ask them the right questions just to guide them to essentially for the business they work for make a decision that means that they get this software. Like,
What a mad.
I didn't enjoy that. I didn't enjoy that at all.
No, and especially at enterprise sales level, it's kind of just weird and boring. You're just like emailing Karen about Sophie's thing with Tony that needs to go through Phil in order to get back to Sandra, who eventually signs off with Declan. And you're like, sorry, what is this? Isn't sales. This is just some sort of like Chinese whispers I'm playing with these people. Like,
well, that's why once you do climb in corporate, you become less on the ground, doing the selling. The more you climb, especially in the sales team, in the like revenue team, the more you climb, the more operational you become. And so the more like senior and you know, you're a bit more of a you're a bit more of a playmaker in some ways. And so you could say it's boring, but those who are really strategic at the top are absolute rainmakers. And it's a whole skill to be
it is
to
just
be
a different
good at
job.
corporate. Yeah,
it's just a different job when you get up.
You're
not on the phones anymore.
But it requires a temperament that many don't have. Some do, but many do not have, and that is like really hard working. In my opinion, most of the time, probably would do better in their own thing, but that's you know,
Dude,
besides the point.
Man, like,
but I think so many
everyone in
would.
tech would do super well at business themselves if they just got out of their own head.
It's true. Yeah.
100%. Anyone who's there is competent. 90%.
So many people I worked with would absolutely destroy
Their own thing.
in their own thing.
Yeah.
They would genuinely, like, there are some people, man, some of the sales girls that were in, like, were at Figma were so good.
Yeah, man, they were ballers.
Yeah, some of the French team and stuff. Really good salespeople.
Erica was great. Katie Latchford was, I remember,
yeah.
some of those girls I'm just thinking around the area we were sitting in. Roxy was a badass as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But I do
Great.
see a lot of those people operating, and then you get, like, you know, they show you inside their organizational skills that they have, like, privately, just for their own work. You're like, you're so on it, man.
Yeah, man.
You're such an operator.
And it doesn't even need that level of operation to, like, have a small little business, like, especially an online business.
The thing that frustrates me the most is that I know that a lot of people that work in these jobs love it, and that they feel very aligned with it. It allows them to, you know, get good maternity cover, or it allows them to, you know, get good holidays or get good benefits, or, you know, just easy.
Yeah.
It means they can switch off at, you know, 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. and just be done with it. Loads of people love it. But I do know for sure the number of people I've spoken to who wish they had a business idea, or, you know, want to do their own thing, or one day dream of being their own boss.
Yeah.
And the thing that just always gets in the way of that is self-doubt. It's just always, I just couldn't do that, you know, because I think a lot of stuff online makes out as if doing your own thing, being an entrepreneur, in inverted commas, or, you know, running a business or whatever, is just so heroic and, like, the most hard thing ever. And, you know, you think you want to be your own boss, and then you're your own boss and you realize you never stop working. It's like all that kind of rhetoric.
Yeah.
I think it puts off a lot of people.
Yes. Yes. Well,
From just making a bit of money online or something.
Yeah.
Or starting their own thing, or putting out content, or whatever.
It's the Regent Beta paradox. You know that?
Yes, I do listen to Modern Wisdom.
Yeah, right. It's that in action.
Yeah.
Just needs to be a bit shitter. And
Yes.
then you do something. But yeah, like, it's such a shame, man. You know, for so many, like, for the people who actually want to and don't, it's a shame. Because, like, as you said, man, it's not actually that hard. It's just, like, it just takes a bit of time, chip away, you'll get there. It's all good.
Well, the great thing about, like, the internet now is that you can obviously put out content, and so with that content, you can get an audience. It's like I was saying to you the other day. Even if you had no audience, if you put out enough content on all of the platforms, like if you manage to put content out on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, even Threads, Twitter. If you put blogs on your website and pictures on Pinterest, and, like, just all these things, you will reach people.
People will see your shit.
You will reach people. You don't need an audience to reach people. Yeah. You just need a system online that puts out value or whatever, or gets people to see your stuff. I forgot. Also a podcast. And then, you know, it's not crazy to consider putting out faceless content or whatever, just out on things. And gain some sort of traction, get some sort of mailing list, and then sell something according to your skills and expertise. I mean,
it's the most beautiful business
gift.
model. You just pick up your phone, you say something to your phone, you press a button, and then if you're good at the thing, you have a service you can offer the person who it's meant for, you can then make a living. Like,
mental.
That's crazy, man.
It used to be that what I thought was making money online was selling shit on eBay.
Yeah, having a big warehouse of products. That ships
or
globally.
Flipping products. You know? That's what I used to do as a kid. I would, like, buy and sell on eBay, or I'd get something old and I'd sell it on eBay. Think I was like, oh man, I'm making money. But and there's so many people with invisible, you know, not real physical products.
If you had to list, like, 3 things you miss or that you would actually like about going back to a job? Is there anything that comes to mind? I'll give you one for me then, just what you're thinking. One of mine is, there's something quite endearing and nice about going to an office.
Yeah.
We said this the other day, we're like having a chat at the water cooler with somebody. That's actually, you don't realize how nice that is.
Yeah, that's nice.
Quite a really nourishing thing. What else?
Like all levels of conversation, from small talk all the way to deep shit.
Yeah.
Real talk, let's call it.
Yeah.
From small talk to real talk, all of that spectrum is worth having.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And people who say I don't like the small talk about the court, you know,
you're getting something from it.
You can try and gain something from that.
It has
and
value.
You probably
it has
can.
value whether you admit it or not.
Yeah, it has value.
Yeah, 100%.
With Stephen, who you see maybe once a week, and you know is into motocross.
Yeah. He's divorced.
But he's really into bikes, guy. And you kind of know stuff about bikes, so you can you kick the tires with him.
Yeah, you watch the YouTube video on bikes, and you're like, yeah.
And so for months, you're just talking about one motocross. That's like with me, when people find out I run, I know that they have nothing to say to me when they're like, so you got any races coming up?
Oh man.
So you training for anything at the moment? You know,
it's like any fucking runs you did lately?
Yeah, I am.
I'm just thinking right now, as we're saying this, like, you know, if I saw two lads on a roof with like some background like this, talking about like the joys of having an online business, then say how much they wish they were by a water cooler, I'd be like, go and fuck off.
We've probably got a few people tuned out already.
Yeah, I'd be clicking off this. Oh.
Self-doubt.
That's it, man. That's what's in the way of everything. And it doesn't stop. I'm not saying this as a guy who's like climbed many peaks or anything, but like I just know what it likes to get out of a 9 to 5, and you know, there's always periods of self-doubt. It doesn't like disappear. You just become better at managing it, and you still just conquer it. But at the start, when you have no kind of proof in yourself, that is the hardest to overcome. But if you can actually overcome the beginning of self-doubt, as it relates to specifically a business, let's say, probably anything. Like if you can overcome the first hurdle, you just get better at overcoming hurdles, internal ones.
I saw a video the other day ridiculing this whole online money-making hustler guru, fuck the 9 to 5 mindset. And I thought it raised a good point, but I wanted to talk about it. He basically said something along the lines of, what's wrong with a 9 to 5?
Yeah.
What is wrong with, we need people in 9 to 5s. We need people in, we need policemen, I'm in a family of police officer, nurses, former army officer, a lawyer. You're not going to, not all lawyers are going to be self-employed. You need people working in big firms for big corporate deals. Everyone, every member of society and their roles in society according to their jobs is important.
Sure.
Or most of them anyway.
Yeah.
What's wrong with a 9 to 5? Why does everyone have to be an entrepreneur? That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I have a response to myself.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I agree. There's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5.
No.
And I would actually say that not everyone should be an entrepreneur. But what I like about this content, what I like about like the people who are who celebrate self confidence and celebrate taking risks and going after it and building for yourself and all those things. I think that that's valuable for anyone, whether you're in a job or not. And I think that it's valuable to consider that whether you're in a job or not, you can make some more money outside of whatever job you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? And the most freeing, I think the most empowering and freeing thing for anyone is to figure out how to make additional income. And this is, I'm not a financial advisor, but if you're just relying on your job for income, you should have some time per day to figure out how you can add to that.
Make it more...
And have another stream.
Yeah, man.
Even if it's just a couple of £100 a month because you're doing like a certain entrepreneurial
100%.
thing. And so like this idea of like you're either one or the other doesn't have to be true.
Yeah.
And I think it's a net positive to get people to believe that it's possible for them to not be employed by someone.
Yes.
I actually do fundamentally believe that as someone who's into the idea of entrepreneurialism.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship.
One of the...
Entrepreneuring.
Above.
I like people entrepreneuring. I think a good society is one that has healthy amounts of new business being built.
Agree.
And
yeah.
So like, you know, I get the rebuttal that many might be thinking, so these, you know, to online business coaches, or we're not, but
Parasites.
yeah, parasites. Online coaches of some kind. Yeah, touting their like, oh, the way I do it's better. But what I genuinely believe is that people who, if you have time, if you're often watching Netflix, then you genuinely have time to look into an interest. Yeah. We met a guy last week who is super into marine biology, super into marine photography, wildlife photography, and he has made a magazine.
Oh yeah.
He's reached out to like all of these cool photographers that he knows that are low key, like amateur photographers online, whatever. And he said, can you choose some photos you've taken and write something about that collection of photos, and I can do a piece on you for this magazine. And it's this thick, amazingly printed magazine, beautiful, and the whole artistry behind it is just so cool, and I want to support it. That is someone who has a hobby, an interest, and there were many ways that he showed he was like this, but he was a hobbyist and he was really into it, and he made nothing from it other than he went out and did it and believed that he could just do shit. Whether he makes money from it or if he's funding it all himself, but whether it's successful or not, it doesn't matter. It's just the idea that you can go out and do more than your 9 to 5 in Netflix.
I think just having a sweeping statement that says quit your 9 to 5 doesn't allow for the context. I think in my situation, when I say that, I'm only saying it to the person who actually wants to, right? For the person who has a buried dream, like either super deep or it's like right on the surface, who actually wants to do something different, who has an expectation of themselves that they have more, and who's at any chance of going any further into that rabbit hole stopped by self-doubt, that, hey, look, you don't have to stay in a 9 to 5. Everyone else who wants to, like, go ahead. I'm not shaming anyone. My content isn't for you. You know, and I think a lot of that content finds its way into the hands of people like that, and maybe they think they're being shamed or whatever, but certainly, I mean, I can only speak for myself when I say, like, I'm coming from a place of being like, I know what it's like to be in a job and be like, what the fuck is this all I'm going to do with my life? To then get out of that and be like, holy shit, I just did this thing.
Yeah.
And know that the belief shifts that have to go on internally for that to occur, that's who I'm making it for. And so in that context, I think the message is perfectly fine, right? To say, dude, wake the fuck up. You've got one crack at this. You know, time is not slowing down. Where are we at? What are we doing? Because, yeah, obviously there's like nothing. There's obviously nothing wrong with it. Man, a job is sick. You get to close your laptop on the weekend, not think about anything. Nobody can message you ever over the weekend.
Oh yeah, we were listing things that we're sick about an office about. You know,
oh yeah, the first one I said. What did I say again?
The cooler.
Oh, the cooler. Yeah, bumping into
having conversations
Mark
with you.
at the cooler.
You actually just said an office environment is pretty dope.
It's nice to have people that you see on a daily basis or a weekly basis.
You get affirmation quite a lot, actually.
Yeah, people are nice to you. Don't call you a parasite.
You don't get called a parasite.
Imagine getting called a parasite in work. There's someone on Slack. It's like, I just wanted you to know you're a fucking parasite and I hope you get leukemia.
That's not happening on Slack.
Oh, God.
But do you genuinely think that self-doubt is stopping other people, or is that just a corny way to...
Well, like, if you think about, if you ask that person, all right, like, okay, so do you have a yes, or do you have the question of, is there more to life than my 9 to 5, yes or no? If the answer to that is yes, and they haven't done anything about it, then it's 100% self-doubt that they will not be able to accomplish it in their given set of circumstances. Because if they believe they could do it, then of course you're gonna fucking do it. If you actually were like, no, I'd 100% be able to build a business, then you'd just be doing it. If you carried that belief. But who's gonna have that belief, man? Like, why would you believe that about yourself and not do anything? So it's about somehow cultivating that belief.
And when you speak about it, it starts to feel like it's just one decision. You just decide. You just decide to not have self-doubt anymore, and then you do it.
That is it. It's deciding to believe differently, which you can do now. Like if I was listening to this and I didn't believe in myself, I could just in this moment decide to believe differently and actively think that. That's like available at any moment to change your belief. And I kind of know that, like I say this with such conviction because of the hypnosis I've been doing lately, which happened long after I had this initial belief shift, by the way, in my job. So it's like, it's just reaffirmed it more so. But you can just decide what you believe and force out old beliefs over time and force in new ones. Upgrade the software.
You showed an incredible lack of doubt in yourself by going and doing your own thing.
Yeah. I had it.
You had it.
Oh, bruh.
And you still have it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just deal with it differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time.
What are you currently doubting then? What things are you doubting you can take on?
Maybe like, I guess I'm looking at like, okay, does this coaching business I have work at 3 times the size of it is now? Can I service it in the way it is? What would need to change? You know, can I do that? That really, like, I have a lot of conviction in what I've got and the fact that it can be taken by anyone and ran with. So I don't really doubt that as much anymore. When I started, that was kind of like a present doubt. I was doubtful that I could maybe have someone trust me from watching a lot of my content, but that seems to be happening. So,
What is there anything that you're doubting that's stopping you from taking action on it? Or better phrased, it's not the thing you're doubting. Is there anything because of which you're doubting yourself that is stopping you from taking action?
Nothing at the moment, man. I think like one of the best answers I would have had for that question is the fact that when I started, I didn't believe that I could do it. I just had no belief or proof, and that's the thing is like no one has that. And but if you can just act despite the proof, like admit that there is a chance it won't work. There is no guarantee. You have to make it work. Then it actually puts a lot more ownership on it for you. Because, you know, for example, right? Some people jump on calls with me to join my program. And they'll say, is there like a guarantee that you're going to get me to build this business? And I'll say like, how can I? How can I guarantee that you will build this? Right? And so it usually just makes the person, you can kind of see they're like, oh, they realize like, it's me.
It's on me.
They're the guarantee. I can't guarantee you'll do jack shit, man.
Yeah.
And there's a chance you won't. There's a chance you'll drop off. Chances are you won't make this. I always say that, man, because it kind of also takes the ownership off me, because I'm like, hey, I've got everything you need.
Yes.
You're good with me. Like, there's no question of whether I've can help you or not. It's whether you're going to do it. And that is the biggest piece of doubt that anyone who hasn't started yet would need to overcome, is like either like convincing yourself that you can do it, or acting even though you don't think you can.
Well, I mean, talking to an ultra runner, this is everything. I get the number of questions that I get
so true.
from people say they've signed up to a 100K and they don't know if they're going to be able to do it, or even people who haven't signed up yet and they're like, how do I start with ultra running, or like, where do I get started?
Yeah.
You get started by just signing up to something you don't believe you're capable of doing.
So
basically.
true.
Or maybe you have a bit of an inkling that you think you can do it. I reckon I could do an 80K.
Did you believe you could do the 100 miler?
Yes.
Okay, you didn't.
I think in order to really increase your chances of completing it, you have to fundamentally believe that you are capable of doing it.
True.
If you do not believe you're capable of doing what you set out to do, you will fail.
Yeah, fact.
You will fail. Because there were so many times during Devil's Gulch where I wanted to quit.
Yeah.
So many times, man. So many times. I was just done with it. But I never really gave credence to those thoughts. I never really entertained them.
You were just
Because it's not a choice. We're not here to make decisions.
Right.
You know,
Right.
we're here to do what we decided to do. And if you don't believe that you, the person in the start line, is capable of getting to the finish line, you, the non-believer, will dictate what happens. So the head and your shoulders has to believe in what the body can do. And I think that's the same in business as well.
Yeah, man.
I mean, to bring it right back to That's Runnable, I wouldn't have even called it a separate name if I didn't believe it could go beyond Tommy Lewis.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I believe it can become more than my face. Whether that takes years or whatever,
Yeah.
obviously that's fine.
That belief
But I
is
believe
literally is as good as anything in this. That's it. That's you just have that. You're good. It'll happen at some point.
And it comes with evidence.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I believe. There's an interesting thing that happens when you start giving yourself evidence, especially in, let's say, ultra running, and you start sort of climbing the distances.
Yeah.
You do a marathon, you have evidence that you're capable of doing all the classic distances. You do a 50K, you have evidence that you can do a 50K. You do a hilly 50K, you have evidence that you can do a hilly 50K. A 100K, a more mountainous 100K, and so on. Until now, I'm at a point where I've done the 100 miler. I once believed I could never do that. I could never do that. Then I believed that I could someday do that. And then I was at the start line believing I can do this.
Yeah. Yeah, it might happen gradually.
And it happens gradually, and you start taking things that you think you one day could do. And you start going for them until you meet them, and then that day has come. But you don't really ever go for things that you don't believe you could ever do. Like if there's something, I'm not going to go for boxing weight category champion of the world. You know, I don't even know what weight category I am, but I'm not going for that.
Imagine I said, like, you had to, by the end of the year, you had to somehow just generate 100 million by the end of the year. Your net
I
worth.
don't believe that is possible, so it just wouldn't happen.
If I had a gun to your head, I was like, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah. I don't know, but like, I'm not going for a goal that I don't believe is possible.
For sure.
I have to first believe that there's a version of me that can do it.
Yeah.
Then I believe that the current version of me can do it.
Yeah.
But if you sign up for a 100 miler and you're not currently capable, you don't believe that you can do it.
Yeah.
You as you are now, but you believe that you will be able to do it.
Sure.
That with the right work, you can get there.
Yeah.
That's surely with anything. You just give yourself evidence. And the more and more evidence you give yourself, the more you start believing that you can literally do everything.
Yeah.
You can do anything. Because you've given yourself so much evidence that you've always been able to do what you put your mind to, that you then realize that you put something in front of me and there are just steps that are required to go through for me to get there. There is just necessary work to get there.
Yeah. There's a certain series of actions that need to occur for me to get to there.
Funnily enough, the work works.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are obviously things that I don't believe I could ever do right now, that I probably would never go for. But within
Heavyweight boxing. Heavyweight boxing.
Yeah, heavyweight boxing. But within ultra running, aside from times that I'm getting, if we're just talking about distances, I think there is, there's a version of me that can do almost any distance. You take it to like 500 miles. I'm like, right, I'm going to train for that. It might take years.
If you just made that your focus, like, oh, I want to make 10K in a month, or I want to make 5K in a month, or make my first grand in a month. If you only just kind of like focus on that and believe you can do it, chances are in 6 months you'll probably do it.
Or however long you'll get there.
Yeah, or whenever it is. Like, but it's the first part that will stop most. It certainly stopped me and you for a while, like in regards to trying to get out of our jobs and build a business and stuff. Are you hungry?
Yeah, what time is it? Have we been chatting for ages?
I think we should get some brekkie.
Oh yeah.
How long is it?
About an hour.
Nice.
Was that shit?
I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Dean. I hope you feel like things that maybe weren't possible for you could be possible. I hope that you feel like you have a certain level of self-belief and that you can. And that if you choose that you can, that's the start of everything. If you want to do things that really support the podcast, do drop it a rating on whatever platform you're listening to it on. Go and support the sponsors of this episode and check out the show notes. There's plenty in there. Free stuff, many free things in the show notes. Free information. Sign up to the newsletter if you want to. I send one email every week, which is just a reflection. We call it the weekly reframe. And that's just some thoughts each week from me as an email, and then I'll notify you on a Thursday as well when there's a new podcast that comes out. Sign up to the newsletter, rate the podcast, comment, engage, and run the runnable. Keep showing up for yourself, and I'll see you next time.